Hello, good evening, welcome to Easy 8 Online Painting Club. My name's Danny and this is the essential place for you to come and paint your miniatures live with me, or later on if you want to watch it back on the replay. You may notice something slightly different. The video feels a little bit different here today, doesn't it? I finally got around to switching over the two cameras, so you might see a little bit more, I don't know, crispness of movement here, and you might see, it'll just be better here. I'm so sorry. I can see those hearts are fluttering away in the live chat there. Thanks very much, guys. We've got loads of people already in the live chat because I'm a few minutes late, and more on that in just a second. We went to Cobberton, says Staff. When? Who's we? When did you go? I want to know all about it. I love Cobberton. Evening all, says Dave, Stafford, and Jeff. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming along. Yeah, I'm a little bit late today because I forgot to put the schedule up. So, I mean, I made it. I just didn't put a link in there. So, I am so sorry for those of you that may have struggled to get here. If you are new, please do consider subscribing. I'm going to push the subscribe button right here so that you get reminded. Please do consider subscribing if you like what we do here. And if you really do like what we do here, and I'm stupid and I miss an evening while not putting the schedule up, if you find just down there somewhere there's like a little bell icon, wherever it is on your desktop, on your mobile phone, whatever it is you're watching on, if you push that bell icon, it will alert you straight away when I go live, so that if I mess up and get things wrong, you can still come and join in, because I'm an idiot. Thanks, Dad. Anyway, if you're painting something this evening, I would genuinely love to know, because this is a place where you could bring some models along to paint live, watch me painting, watch me getting it wrong, sometimes getting it right, who knows. Maybe you've got a celebration that you want to kind of, you know, chat to us about. Maybe you've got some struggles and you want some help to kind of get through. That's what these guys over here are for. I'm gesturing on this side. Recently I found out that the live chat doesn't always appear down this side, but it does on my screen. Somewhere here there's a live chat going on. You can come and join those guys if you want to. We're not just here on YouTube, we're also on Facebook, and we're also on Discord at the Easy After Party, where you can come and join me at the end of the show on a live video, if you like. If that's what you want to do. What have I been doing over the last couple of weeks? I've been painting Ghaz, because it's Orktober. This is the last week of Orktober. I'm still going to be doing them for a few days because we're not right at the end of the month. I know when we're at the end of the month because it's my birthday. It's my birthday on Tuesday. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will be the grand age of 42. It feels really old and like adulty, doesn't it? I don't know if I like that very much. But hey, I'm going to be getting to 42. And so that's when I'll finish doing Ghaz. So I've got a couple of days. I've got some time off work. I've been really cracking on over the last couple of days. I'm going to show you the work that I've been doing with him in just a second. If you're also a fan of Orktober, you might be interested that my Orktober challenge hasn't just been by myself. It's been between, put my teeth back in, been between me and John over at Out of This World Models and Minis. There's a link just down there. Go and click on it because he's a super cool guy and is really cool painter and he's just a really swell guy and supports our channel all the time. So I support his channel all the time, and yeah, we challenged each other to the same miniature. He's been struggling with work, so he's a little bit behind. And we aren't at a point where we're finishing them today. Obviously, I'm going to be going for a couple more days, and he's going to be struggling to get his finished within time as well. But we're going to get on a call. We're going to record it. And as a part of John's channel, because he does pre-recorded stuff, we're going to do a big reveal over a Zoom call or a Skype call or something. So watch this space so that you can see the big reveal of my Ghaz and the comparison to John's. I had a sneak look at his earlier on, and it's well, you can see it on the Facebook page if you want to. Looks really cool. Very, very similar, but in some ways, very, very different. Staff says, that is the answer to life, the universe and everything. Well, watch out, world, because 42, here I come. Anyway, if you are painting something this evening, come and let us know about it, and let's get on over to the workbench. Here we go. Yeah, I'm so sorry for being late. Anyway, I've got a cup of tea. Cheers. I've had to rearrange all my videos, so hopefully this looks brighter. Hopefully up here looks clearer. I really like it. It's really cool. Yeah, we're back to the old auto zoom thing. So if that's really bugging you, or you want me to switch it on, switch it off, or whatever, let me know. Because obviously all this, I paint for me, but the video's for you guys. And if it's horrible to watch, you should definitely tell me. Anyway, I can drink that in a minute because that is just out of the kettle. So sorry. Anyway, here we go. So look, I've got these like 5 sub-assemblies. I say 5 sub-assemblies. There's actually 4 sub-assemblies and the base. Do you count the base as a sub-assembly? Here's Ghaz's main piece, I suppose. I even had a go at doing freehand checkers on there as well. I was really happy with that. It took a little while, but I softened it all because the white really pops, but I softened it right down by putting a really, really light grey filter over the top. I say grey filter, the siliconum grey. Like, this is going to be one of my go-to filters, I think. Just water that down 50-50 and just put a little facade across it, and it's come out really, really well. There's a lot of metalworks almost all completed on here. I've been working my way up this leg here the other day, doing all the filters on the steel. Easier to see the steel on this side because it's kind of inside there. Can you see all the shininess and the claws on his feet? If I go on this side here, you can see it's all dulled down a little bit. Kind of blends away into the black a little bit, so I will be kind of just quickly going through with a bit of highlight, just a soft dry brush, just a quick wipe over, just to pick up the edges, bring the brightness back out again. But that grey filter over the top of all that metal really dulls it down. You can see like the pistons are really shiny, different type of metal paint in there, just standard silver. It's standard silver. And it makes them look really bright. And all the copper work on them, or I call it the copper work, it's actually brassy brass. Brassy brass. They're going to autofocus back to the old days. There it is, brassy brass. With a little bit of Agrax Earthshade. Yeah, Agrax Earthshade. I've forgotten what the paint was called. Really brings out those coppery or brassy elements on there. Got a few little details that are going to take me a little bit of time to work through. And then, of course, I've got to start putting them all together. Here's his claw, looking really cool and gnarly. I really like the way that came out. I'm just going to bring my lights in a bit closer. There we go. All the little pistons on the back of his knuckles here. Super cool. Brassy brass. Looks good. Thanks very much. Some really intricate modelling or sculpting here. If I get my brush so I can point. Just in there, it's like little weld beads. So I've just done like a tiny, just in here, I've done like a little tiny dry brush of silver across it. Not so it stands out and, is really, really obvious, but just subtle. Just subtle. Got to paint the claws in here. I've decided to do these bone because as I've been painting the model, I've realised that they are bony pieces, not metal pieces, and I think it'll also kind of just look nice, break it all up a little bit. And here's the gun. So the gun's on this side here. Just picking out a few details, just following the box really for inspiration. Did this in white, washed it over with a little filter of grey, and from what I can tell from the little experience I've got with Apothecarium, I think it's Apothecarium or Apothecary White, which is the white contrast paint. This kind of gives it a very similar feel. It's looking really cool. The bullets came out really nice. So that is just polished gold by Vallejo with Agrax over the top. In a couple of places it looks like it could do with a bit more definition in there between all the bullets. In the drum itself. Come on now, there it is. But that's just a quick job later on. Now, one of the things that I was doing with this whole build is I was doing it with trying to learn like a new technique, which is the slap chop technique. So it was supposed to be heavily dry brushed, as it was at the beginning, white and black, stark contrast. So you get really vivid shadows, really vivid highlights, and then you do glazes and contrast paints over the top. Some places that's really worked really well to my advantage, and other places it hasn't. So I've turned to a mixture of styles as I've been going on and kind of going back to my old ways on a lot of them. The yellow here is a perfect example of it kind of working, so you can see the edges. That's just two very watery glazes over the top. I might want to put another one on there because it does look like it's been dry brushed through. And that's something that I want to avoid. So I'm just going to put another layer of that on there, and I'm going to pick out the little icon on the front, probably in red. He's got some icons dangling from his, I was going to say shoulders, but from these great big stacks. There's one here, one there, there's another one there. Some little glyphs on his knee over here. That one there on the front there is done. I've got to highlight all the bone on him. I'd like to do black tips to these things here because they are black on the box art and it does look very cool. And there's a whole bunch of details over here. So I'm pretty certain I'm not going to get him finished today, but I'm going to get a long way to getting him finished. And then of course I've got his face, which is almost done. I was struggling to kind of get a colour that made it, suited his gums. So I went with a really dark red. So I kind of slapped it all over his gums down here. I wonder if you can see that so well. Come in, there it is. Kind of got it all over his teeth and it looks a little messy. So I've got to neaten all that up again later on. And if I can, I'll try and do some sort of glow effect on his eye, but we'll see how that goes. Wouldn't mind putting a little bit of brass on the side of his little ear thing, headphone, and then I can glue that in. And then over to this bad boy, where I've been doing some colour works on them. So the greys did not work over the slap chop effect. They probably would do if I had the appropriate colours in contrast, because they do work differently than glazes. And yeah, probably do some more work on that. The steels have all been washed with Nuln oil. And while the Nuln oil has been, the recipe for it has been kind of fixed, it's not a bad paint to work with. I do prefer the Basilicon and grey watered down thing. It looks better, but this has got Nuln oil on it, and I'm going to be doing some washes of Agrax over it to kind of make it look grimier, and it's all going to be weathered up anyway. So yeah, that's where he's going to stand, and he will stand with 1 foot here and 1 foot there. Yeah, it's going to look super awesome, hopefully. I mean, he is looking really awesome. I'm really happy with him. So do you know what? To get started, I'm going to go with a little bit of airbrushing, and I want to kind of bring this soil colour here to the same colour here. So I picked this where it's all brown here, the dark brown, is where where this plastic piece glued to the base. So to blend that piece in, I just got some Grelin Badland, which is the textured paint. I just scooped it on thick and blended it away. So now it all looks the same, but I want to match the colours. So I will get my spray sheet. Here we go. I'm just going to get some... Where is it? There it is. Charred brown. It's my go-to brown, really. I love it. Going to crank on the old compressor. Here's the box art. If we were to look at the horns here, can you see how... It's quite hard to see, really. Can you see how they kind of go black at the end? That's kind of what I'd like to get. I think it would look really nice. So they've actually got it in 3 stages. If you look carefully, it kind of goes off-white to sort of a light brown, dark brown to black at the end. So it might not look all that great. Maybe I won't come down so far on them with the black all the way down to about here. If I went to about here, I think it just would be nice to make them look a little bit darker. Normally I do darker at the bottom of the spiky thing and go brighter at the top because it kind of makes it look pointier. The illusion. Yeah, dead happy with those checkers though. What I do want to do, because I wasn't going to do any checkers at all, but I saw a teaser of John's and his had checkers all over. I was like, oh, John, you're pushing me through a hoop. I have to keep up. So what I might do later on is have a go at freehanding across the top of this shoulder pad here, because he is supposed to have it on his shoulder. He'll also have, or should have, black checkers on the back of it on here, but let's see how I go. Let's see what sort of time I've got. I am working to the clock on this build, so yeah. Still got to fix one of his cables as well. Anyway, hopefully I washed out the airbrush well. A little bit of grime on the end of that needle. It's not been used for a little while. So what I'll do, somewhere here, I should have a little cotton bud. I don't have one. I've got one in the drawer here. Somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, and I'll get a little bit of cleaner. Here it is. This is just... Oh, that's 50-50. Where's my neat cleaner? There it is. Neat cleaner. I always decant it into these smaller bottles. It's so much easier to work with. All I'm going to do is just put a couple of drops in the end of that. And then I can just wipe the tip of that needle clean. Oh, super grimy. Yeah, I need to give that a proper clean out. May not even work that well today. Pull the needle back so that I don't damage it, and then just clean off the nozzle tip there. You can see all that grime coming off from the top. Well, maybe you can, maybe you can't. Oh, there you go. Just. Lovely. Check that airflow. Seems good. Right. Just a couple of drops in there. One more for luck. There we go. Ooh. Okay. Now I brushed on the other brown section, but it does take a little bit longer. And yeah, I'm just trying to keep it speedy now. I also like the way this is kind of filtering. And if I could try and blend that and make it look darker in the turned up bits and lighter on the edges, I will, but I don't know if I'm that good. What do you think? Looks a bit rubbish, doesn't it? So I've got a thick line going down at the bottom over there. Alright, blend that out. Stay safe. There's a few details on the base that I've got to pick out, like bullet casings and things like that. That'll be fun. Dave, the key is done. Key is done? Key is done. What are you talking about? Key is done. Are you guys talking in code? Have you made up your own, like, live chat language and I'm not included? It makes me very sad. That looks better, doesn't it? I'm going to spray the rim there because it'll, when I go to actually paint the rim by hand, it'll give it something to adhere to and it'll be an easier covering. Don't know what colour I'm going to do yet though. And just in time, I've run out of paint. Lush. Right, let's give that a clean out. Yup. Oh. Key is done. What's he talking about? If anyone knows, answers on a postcard. Cobburn has a nice T34. I'd love to go. It's been such a long time since I've been. I remember it being pretty cool when I was a kid. And I've heard lots of cool stories about it, so it's time to go. Just, you know, painting so much stuff for you guys. I don't have time. Right, back to Ghaz. Back to his hands, back to his face. So what am I gonna do? I want to start on his face because I want to start like being able to tick things off now. So I'm gonna redo his teeth. So I'm gonna get a little bit of Screaming Skull. Gonna give that a shake. Do you know what I'm gonna do? For Ghaz, I'm gonna give it a Waz. Gonna stick it on the Waz-O-Matic. There we go. Been using my paints quite a bit over the last few days, so I don't need that much of a mix-up. But it is good for him, isn't it? There we go. Lush. And my brush was a little bit stiff when I was playing around with it a second ago. There we go. Don't think I cleaned out the water so well. A little bit of Screaming Skull, don't need much. I'm going to add a drop of water just for the flow. Actually added too much water. To go back in for a bit more paint, thicken it up. What a wally. did you get to sit in the T-34? No, I didn't. Shame. You absolutely can. You sit in it? Are you allowed to? Or is it one of those things where you get in the tank and they can't get you out of it because you're in a tank? Right. Actually, no, it's too watery. Too watering. Maybe I'll just take some meat. Sometimes I get the watery mix all wrong. And the paintbrush just absorbs too much too quickly, and I just wasn't able to control that. It's just that bottom gum line. I was tempted to leave it. Oh, my compressor's still on. Need it to be on now. There we go. Neatened up teeth. Grrrg. Cool. Right, he can go over there. Don't have anything that I necessarily want to use this little bit of paint for right now. Might want to do some highlights or some dry brushing on the skull bits, you know, the bones and stuff, but I'll come back to that later on. There's other details that I want to kind of do right now. First and foremost, I want to get those icons and those grenade launchers finished. So if we have a little look up here, we got these two features beside this skull. Got this little thing here, this little thing here. They're like little grenade launchers, and I want to kind of get those painted up. Now on the box art, they've got like a gold outer and a silver inside. I've done like a silver pin in the middle, which is just here, and I just kind of want to do like a gold cap to them. Yeah, gold, or you know, brassy brass, whatever the colour is. I don't want to do like this bit in the middle as silver, so just get some brass. Find my little brass bit on the palette over here. There it is. Gone a bit all over the place on my base there, I just noticed. A bit more than I thought I was going to, so I'll redo the silver, it won't take very long. Got a bit of brassy brass. One of the things that definitely didn't work on this build was glazes with metallics. Now, they might work really well as a contrast paint. I just didn't want to go out and splooge so much money on a load of paints that I didn't know if I was going to use again. So I just wanted to have a go with glazes and using the few contrast paints that I have got. So if you've had experience using contrasts in metallics, I'd love to know the results. Come and let me know. I'm going to bring my lights in a bit closer, it's getting a bit difficult to see here. They have a Comet, and it's for sale. Where? What? At Compton? Out of my price range, maybe. But you know, I do play the lottery every day I can. So, well, maybe I'll be driving around in a Comet. You know, turn up to work in that beast, park wherever I want. The world would be my oyster. These are going to need a second coat. This brass colour. Brass. It does go on rather thin by brush, I've noticed. And this is the airbrush version, and I do have a big chest full of brush ones that Mark gave me. Thanks, Mark. I just haven't got it out. Red Barn Games. Hi, Red Barn Games. Haven't seen you in the live chat before. Welcome to Easy 8. I hope you find this channel to be both fun and interesting and fun, because I'm really rubbish at the painting, so fun and interesting. I've used the speed paint metallics. Treat them like a base coat and wash. You still want to highlight. Okay, cool. I'd love to see like a video on them being used or something. I've been playing around with metallics for the last sort of year, trying to work out what is like the best paint and the way to use it to kind of get the most realistic or just best looking aesthetic at the end. And I've come back to using Vallejo brush methods, even airbrush methods, just the standard metallics that they make, just because they're simple and I've got so much stuff to paint that I'm just trying to kind of keep it nice and easy. However, I did try this combo. So glossy black surface primer with their metal colour airbrush range. This is a beautiful paint, and you can get different colours. So this is just steel, so it's quite a dark one. When it goes through the airbrush, it's absolutely fantastic. The thing is, I was using it on Skitari miniatures, and half of the detail isn't silver, so you have to spray them more silver and then do detailing over the top, and trying to paint over a true metallic is just nigh impossible. Or you paint everything else and then spray over the top, and you just can't do that. So it was just easier to do it by hand. Watch it, paint it has a few videos on. Watch it, paint it is the channel. Has a few videos on the speed paint metallics. Thank you very much. I will check those out later on today. Thank you. Cool. Welcome to the show. Just having a little look while I've got this brassy brass here, having a little look to see if there's any areas that just need a bit of a touch up, like here. And just go over the edge there, because I painted these little bits of silver the other day. These little sort of holy bits, and I just got a little bit of silver on the edge. So I just want to kind of bring that back again. Cobberton, £9 entry, £2 for coffee, and £1.50 for amazingly brilliant cookies. We went back for seconds. Yummy. What's not to like? Just some of the edges here. Just bringing those back. Messed that up a little bit. Never mind. Getting it on the silver. I've got a really unsteady hand today, which is a bit of a nuisance, because the last couple of days has been really steady. It's the nerves of doing a show, see? Thanks for having the online painting club. I need the motivation today. I've got to get through patching 80 goblins. 80 goblins! And I feel upset when I've got 8 termagants to paint for Tyranids. Do you know what? You're more than welcome, and it's really lovely to hear people enjoying the show for motivation. That's what it's all about. That's absolutely what it's all about. So thank you for coming along and saying so. It's really actually made my day. Thank you. Cool. I faffed up a little bit over here. I have to go and sort that out. Where did I make that mistake? There it is, just there. Got a bit of brass just on the edge of the silver, and that's going to bug me. Okay. Let's leave the brass alone for a minute. I want to do the glyphs on his knee. Now I started doing those. I did them in like a little glaze of brassy brass. I don't know if I want to do it because there's a lot of brass, there's a lot of silver on them. Do I do it with gold? Do I do it the same gold I did the bullets, or just do I do a colour? So while I'm painting away here, if you guys think of a colour to do this little glyph on his knee, I'd love to know. The reason I did it in brass is because on the box art, brass. Yeah, so that's why I did it. But I don't know if I like it. So yeah, there's a lot of brass. A lot of brass. I said brass too much now. So that sounds weird. Okay, gonna get some silver because I want to redo these bits here. I might come back to those in a second. All the silver here is done. I think. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Agrax, because that's going to take a little bit to dry. Let's get a little bit of this. I was going to put it on the WAAAGGGHHH, but it's a wash. I don't really need to do that, do I? Cool. So, not straight from the pot. I am going to load it on the palette there. It's just a little bit easier to control rather than picking out a massive balloon of it on the end of my brush. Oh, I think my tea's the right temperature to drink now. Cheers. Not in a Robo Cup today, but happy Friday, everybody. Oh, that is a stringent cup of tea. Yeah. 80, says Jeff. That would send me a bit mad, I think. How many sections of bocage are you hand making right now, Jeff? How many feet in total do all of those lengths of bocage sections make up? Yikes. That's a good word to use here. Right, I'm going to start on the things up here. The exhaust pipes? Yeah, let's call them that. Load up with a bit more. Yeah, there we go. Now, I really like Agrax on the gold colours. Just on metallics, actually. Agrax is a great colour, depending on your needs at the time. I find it really brings out the depth in the brass colours and the gold, but brass seems to be working really well. I've not used this brass colour on a actual model that I wanted to paint before. I've tested it and painted it years ago when Easy 8 first started, when Kyle was here, if you remember, the whole brassy brass fiasco. But I never actually did anything for a personal project with it. But it really kind of brings out the depth and the warmth of the colours, and it does a pretty good job of running into all the little details and around all the rivets, so it means you get all your rivet detail without actually having the painstaking effort of having to go in there and dot every single one. Now, I've been considering dotting some rivets because he's got a load on the actual power suit itself, but that might be a job to do much later. Red Barn Gaming says, I'm feeling a bit mad for doing it. Maybe do the knee detail in a bold yellow and make it a freehand flame motif. The yellow I think works because I've got a couple of bits on him that are yellow and it stands out. And if I've got time, because I'm on a time limit for this build, if I've got time, I do like the idea of doing freehand. I've done a little bit of freehand check work on his jaw. Yeah, or on his gob, I think is what they call it. That's the first bit of freehand I've ever really done before. It took me a little while, but I did enjoy the process. It was good. Now, one of the things I wanted to do with Ghaz is I wanted to grime him up, and I am toying heavily with the idea of using the streaking grime technique on him. Something that I've only ever really reserved for Space Marines. I've just had a test with it once a little while ago, doing that one Space Marine. I need a bit of practice doing it, but I've been thinking about making my orcs look quite gritty. That will cover up a lot of the work that I've done if I don't do a good enough job on it, but at the same time it will hide a multitude of sins and shortcuts. Because I've been working to a time constraint with this build for Orktober, it was only natural that I was going to have that. So to have something to hide it would be handy. However, is it appropriate for this build? I just put my finger right on what I just painted. What a plonker. pick anything up? Barely. Oh, you lucky sod. What an idiot. Okay, got that done. Gonna come back for those grenade launchers in a minute. When I was originally playing with Agrax and Brassy Brass, I did that first little test piece on this, whatever this little kettle is. Like a little kettle on the back here. So I'm not gonna go completely crazy covering that all over again, making it really dark. But yeah, it's got some other bits and pieces on his back here. One of the things that the Games Workshop box art teams do is that they highlight ever so slightly all of their gold colours and brassy colours. They highlight them with a bright edge of silver just to make the edges stand out, and it actually really does work. Now, if I was spending twice the time on him, I would go around and do all that, I think, because he's such a prominent piece on the table. But that's not my aim with this build. The whole aim of this project was to get through what I consider to be an intimidating model quick and make it look as good as you can within the time frame, and I don't have time basically for that, so I'm just gonna keep on plodding along and not worry about that. Orktober is kicking my butt. 2,500 point Orc Old Hammer Old World Greenskin army. Is that why you're doing the goblins? Yikes. I have enjoyed Orktober though. I wanted to do it last year, but I don't know. I just didn't. Sometimes the channel, while it is an outlet for me to make sure that I always have time every week for me to paint and do my hobby, at the same time it's a lot of work, and it can be quite a stressful thing making sure that the channel's working fine and I've got an idea and that I'm not spending too long doing the same thing, because even though I'm painting all my own builds for myself, if you were watching the same thing every week, I understand and acknowledge completely that it would get a little bit dull and repetitive, and I don't want the show to become dull in any way. So yeah, I change it sometimes, and what I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, just before Orktober, was I'm ashamed to admit that even though the show is about finishing your models and getting through your backlog of grey plastic, I've got a lot of stuff that's unfinished because of that reason, because I've had to move on to new projects because I paint so slow, I was talking to my partner yesterday. She came up into the studio to have a look at Ghaz, and she's like, "You're so talented." I'm like, "Thank you so much. It's very nice of you to say." And she's like, "Why don't you become like a proper painter and charge money for it and do it as a job?" Well, first of all, I have the dream job, and I love doing what I do, and it'd be very difficult for me to ever give that up. But also, I'm just not that fast. If I was to spend a month painting up Ghaz, it would take me a long time to do. I think we can all agree on that. I could put in, easily 50 hours on him, and what could I charge it for? Really, £100, £100, £150, and that's not a lot of money considering the amount of time I'm painting just this one model. So I can't justify the amount of time that I spend painting models to ever become like a painter. There are lots of cool freelance painters out there, and you should go and check them out. Notwithstanding, as Blightforge models, you should go and check those models out. Check that guy out. Check out the studio, and there's a link to them just down there. I was thinking ahead and I forgot what I was trying to say. Blightforge, absolutely brilliant. Blightforge miniatures. I haven't been in contact with Blightforge for a little while, and I did get challenged to a game by them back in July, I think it was. I haven't forgotten Blightforge. If you're watching this, I really want to play you. Really want it. Get my Tyranids to eat your whatever it is. Probably Death Guard, isn't it? I think you've got. Yeah, I've only actually had one game of the new edition, such as time. Work, man. You know how it goes. Work and life and stuff. Which is why it's so important to have 2 hours a week, right? 2 hours a week gets you to your hobby. Right. I think that's the majority of the brass done on him. I just want to maybe... Can I get away with it? Am I cutting? I'm cutting corners. If you think about cutting corners, Danny, don't do it. Go back in, do another layer of the brassy brass. Yum, yum, yum. Why am I stressed? Why am I stressed? What is going on? Time pressure, eh? I'm like this at work. Everyone's like, oh, you're so calm and nice, Danny. You're so calm and nice. And then the time pressure at work comes out and like, oh my god, stay away from that guy. All it's going to take is a quick once over. This is all I need to do. We've established we're not going to finish him tonight, and that's okay. And remember, guys, if you are doing an Orktober build, do take photos of it, do stick it up on Facebook. There's a link to the Easy 8 Facebook page just downstairs. Said downstairs last week, I like it. Go and put pictures of it. When it's done, of course, you know, join in the challenge with me and John, and don't show us yet. Don't show us yet. I know there's a few of you that have been doing Orktober, and I'm actually really excited to see how they've come out. Apart from Mike, who said that he's been and bought some orcs, does that count? Like, yeah, absolutely, of course that counts. Really like the way that Agrax Earthshade works on the brassy brass. Get my hand out of the way because it's not doing it any favours. You're going to come into... Yeah. So cool. I do have to paint the little caps around the base of these horns. I didn't know what colour to do them. Shall I do them silver or shall I do them brass? I'll leave that choice entirely up to you. Right, I'll leave the Agrax open. I'm going to come back to that, I think, in a minute. Yellow. Now, do I want to use this yellow or do I want to use a brush on yellow? I'm going to use this yellow for now because it's here in my hand, and I'm going to put this on his knee glyph, knowing that it'll be easy, if I don't like it, to paint over the yellow. The yellow is weak sauce, and this is an airbrush paint, so it's going to be super runny. But it does build up really quick. I used yellow on some of his other glyphs because I think yellow is supposed to be like a colour of wealth within the orcs, because like the bad moons, they're like really wealthy and all their armor's all painted yellow, isn't it? So I didn't put much thought into it because I don't think orcs put much thought into things, but the idea was to just kind of signify that he's the biggest orc war boss going, so he'd have money, right? Well, orcs don't have money, do they? They have teeth, because they shed teeth and that's their currency. So the more that you shed teeth, the richer you are. Or if you're beating up other orcs and you're knocking their teeth out and collect them, then you're really rich. So an orc war boss is probably both. Rich for producing his own teeth and also for knocking out others. The bad moons, they shed their teeth faster than any other tribe, so that's why they're really opulent. That built up nice and fast, didn't it? I like that. That's cool. Let that dry for a second. I'm going to come back to the glyph hanging down from his pipes at the back there. and I'm going to do the little glyph on that thing hanging down that tile in a red colour as well. I'll do the back of it here. Nice. I'm just going to pop him down for a second. Right. Do it brassy brass. Are you talking about the caps on the horns, Stafford, or are you talking about the knee glyph that I've just painted yellow? I'd be stressed if my palette was that dirty. It's not dirty, it's very clean. It's just covered in things and colours that I like to use for reference and stuff, and it's got texture. I could peel it all off. But you know what? I'll peel it off if you can get me to 150 subscribers by the end of November. Spread the word, man. Spread the word. That is my promise to you. I think really with this arm here it's pretty much done. I mean, I could do the checkers on it, but I could do that when it's put on him and built. I do want to on here, if I use my paintbrush for pointing rather than my sausage fingers, I've done the piston ram, the hydraulic bar inside, a bright silver to make it look like it's highly polished, because they always are. But I've been doing the little bit that sticks out the back over here, the same silver, and on this one, I think maybe on the other arm, yeah, on the arms I haven't done that bit. So I'll quickly do that now, and then I'm going to finish off the skull here, and I'm going to call this arm done. Then hopefully I'll be able to do the other arm very quickly as well. I would like to paint the threads on the skulls. Where is my bright silver? Bright silver. Silver, here we go. Just a bit of a shake. Just a quick dot on the palette there. It's not a dirty palette. Here we go. Bristles are separating a little bit. I have just today ordered a new brush. I bought this brush for a detail brush, but sometimes the belly of it, even though it goes down to a really nice and appropriate sized tip, can be a little too big. This is a 0, and they go all the way down to a 5-0, like 5 zeros essentially. So I bought myself a 3-0. Might even go down to a 6-0. I think it's 5-0. So I bought one of those today with some the Masters brush cleaner by B&G, which is the little pot of cleaner and conditioner that you see, you know, most YouTubers, TikTokers use. That one that's everywhere in the little tub. Recently I've been using Green Stuff World's brush cleaner, and while it's good, I don't think it's as good as the other one, and I'm always up for trying something new. Cool. Next one. I wonder, am I zoomed in enough for you? Can you see clearly what's going on? Because I think I can affect my zoom a little bit if you want to. That is as far as I can zoom in. One of the reasons why I got the other camera, which I've changed out now, was because I was able to control the zoom and exposure and all sorts of things from my little Stream Deck here. Just that the quality of the focus wasn't very good because it has no focus control. But I can't control the zoom on this camera with the Stream Deck, which is really frustrating. But oh well. Lush. Righto. Okay, I want to go back to the Screaming Skull colour. Which I can't remember where I put it. There it is. And I want to get a soft brush for a really light dry brushing. That's a nice soft one. Have I got any softers? Don't think so. No, not that one. Oh crikey, all that one. Okay, this one it is. That's too big. Okay, cool, I'm going to use this one here. Because I just want to get a little bit of bone colour over the skulls that are hanging down here. Put some Agrax on Screaming Skull, and it's a really nice colour, works really well. But it does darken them down just a little bit too much, and I want them to pop a little bit. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little bit of Screaming Skull. I'm going to just drop a little bit more into the palette there. There we go. Not a crazy amount. I just brought in my spray sheet here so that I can just do that whole thing. I don't have a texture palette, so I know that dude over, is it Byron, over at Artitopus, if he's watching this channel, be like, oh my god, what are you doing? But sorry bro, I just don't have a texture palette. Haven't made one either. So, I'll just get rid of that for the light. Here we go. Even this brush is a little bit on the large side, but what can you do? That makes it come out lovely. That is really, really good actually. Come on, focus. It doesn't want to focus, does it? Stop fighting me. Oh, it's become like a personal challenge now. Whatever. I'm gonna fight you, man. This one's a little bit more tricky because it's in the crux of his elbow. Don't want to get it all over his arm or anything. But the bit where I can't get into will look like a shadow, so that's come out really nice. With a sprue line on the side of his ear hole, but not a lot I can do about that now. Okay, back to Ghaz. Pick up the last of the stuff that's in the colour palette there. Okay. Trying to do the base of that horn a little bit more than the tip, because I remember I want to do the tip a bit more blacky. That's looking pretty good. Now, if I was sensible, I could have remembered to put a little bit of water in the bristles, because that would have stopped it going so chalky, but you can only see the chalkiness up close. So, who cares, right? But otherwise, I like that. That does look really cool. And now this is a little bit on top here. Just didn't really like the way the skull came out on top, but, you know, work with what you got, right? Ah, those highlights are making it look much better. Screaming Scale is one of my favourite colours. It's got such a good pigmentation for it as well. There we go. Just make sure that I've got that skull on there as well. There we go, I think that's all the skull's done. He has some little teeth hanging from his like cod piece, groin protector thingy. But I'll pick those out with a little detail brush as well in a minute. Anyway. It's that time, isn't it? It's that time to go for a little bit of a break. Ooh, brush run away. Now, what am I going to do when we come back, or even during the break? See if I can get these little cords painted. He's got like little cords that go through the eye socket. Oh, I'm upside down over it. Gonna get the little cords that go through his eye socket painted. The ones that are tying them onto his shoulder. Got some painted on them. I don't really know what colour to paint them yet. Maybe like a really light brown. To make them pop a little bit, but not too much. Brown's a good cordage colour, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. And I think I'm going to do the little detail on the side of this glyph here. Actually get into the camera shot. I've set up new cameras, so it's all over the place. And I would like to do the insides of the barrels in here as well. See, there's little like the inside barrels within a barrel. I'd like to kind of just pull those out in a nice brass colour. And I think that'll kind of be his arms done. I think. Out of this world models and minis. Hi John. Whoa. Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for coming along during your busy work schedule and stuff at home. I'm absolutely stoked and can't wait to see the big reveal, which I was just talking about at the beginning of the show. Just because you come along now, I'll go back over it, but we're not going to do a reveal today. This will be the last day of me doing Ghaz on the show. Going to finish him up over the next couple of days. John and I, of course, are going to get onto a Skype call or a Zoom call or something, and then we're going to do record it and then do a big reveal. And I'll let that reveal go over on John's channel because he does all the pre-recorded stuff and he's much better at it than I am. But it's also a nice way to bring the two channels together. Don't forget to go and love, support, and subscribe John, who I don't know if you've recently become 500 subscribers or you're very close to it, or is it 600 subscribers? He's very close to like a big number. Yeah, you go, you John. Just snuck in to say hello. I'm at work. Cool. Thanks very much for coming along. I'm about to go for a break though, John. So maybe extend your break or something. But thanks for coming along. Anyway, go change your paint water because like mine's gross. Look at that. It's been sat there for a fortnight. Shh. See you in 10. Stupid paint water. Welcome back. Ooh. My little side mic wasn't on, so I couldn't hear my own voice. That was a bit weird. It sounded like I was underwater. Welcome back. Hope you had a good interval. While you've been gone, I have changed my paint water, and now it looks less like metallic swamp water and more like Mountain Dew. Yummy. Not Mountain Dew. We won't be drinking that today. I have been painting all the little bits and pieces that I can, going back over some of the yellow bits and pieces, just because I think they need just a little bit more colour on them, but they're starting to look really, really good. And I'm just revisiting his face now, just because I want to put a little bit of Agrax Earthshade on the teeth, because I want to kind of bring back some shadow, bring back a little bit of definition over on those teeth there. And then I'm going to dry brush, or just kind of highlight them, the original colour again. The reason I'm trying to spend so much time on his face is because face is a focal point, right? He's got several focal points, you could argue, being that he's got a massive claw, he's got a massive gun, but his face is his character, that is him. So I'm just trying to make sure that I get that smile and that grimace really dialed in, making it look really, really good. I'm also putting a little bit of the Earthshade over his gums. It doesn't hide the red, but again, it's just stopping it looking from like all just one colour, because things aren't just one colour. There's, you know, variations in the hues, shadows, highlights, all sorts of stuff. And if you just leave something one stark colour, it better be for a good reason. And yeah, that's just kind of what I'm trying to do now. Is just prevent those teeth looking like they're just white, and those gums as well, just from looking red. No, I am going to leave his eye, because he's got like a skull cap, which is just like a metal thing, and a big bionic eye. I'm going to leave the eye just red, and I'm going to come back in with like a highlighted red and a darker red, and see if I can get that gem thing going. I had a bit of luck, obviously, painting the freehand stuff the other day, and I've not done gems and stuff before, so I'm going to give it a go. What's the worst that can happen, right? Anyway, I hope you had a good break. I hope you changed your paint water. I hope you're having a good evening painting whatever it is that you're painting. Just remember that if you are new here, or if you haven't brought someone over and shared words already, please do consider subscribing, because every little gesture on your end is very insignificant to you, I'm sure, but to me it means the world. Every single gesture, every single subscription, everything that you do is very, very precious to me. So thank you very much for coming along. I hope you enjoy what this place is all about. It's just a live painting club, nothing more, but I hope that you make some friends, and I hope that you get through your painting, because we've all got stuff to paint, mountains of it everywhere. You can't see it. Some people have been in the studio to have a little look, and it is as messy as I say it is. That's me. That's living in my house. Anyway, I'm going to take you straight back over to the workbench, because work needs to carry on. Here we go. Right, he's looking really cool. I did like the idea of the yellow on the glyph. It stands out, even though it's dulled down. I'm going to go around it with a grey wash. I'm really starting to fall in love with this grey wash thing. It's worked so well on the gob, on the jaw. Will the autofocus kick in? Who knows? If I come in from a distance, is it going to lock in? Don't do it to me, autofocus. Can you see? There it is. Yeah, I'm well happy with the way that's turned out. All free-handed by this little hand here. I can smell birthday cake cooking in the house. That's very exciting. She's chosen to do it now, has she? Nice, smooth. Right, before I go, just disappear with the Agrax, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back to these little piston things here, and because I was painting silver around the outsides, I just wanted to make sure that the definition isn't lost around the sides. So where I painted silver here going around the outsides, I didn't want there to be like any overspill, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So if there is, I can just neaten it up with a little bit of Agrax. But actually, do you know what? I think I got that bang on. Alright, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Cool. I will now... Yeah, I'm loving his face. Coming on so well. Teeth look a little bit dark at the moment, but they'll be brighter in a minute. Lush. Let's do brassy brass in the barrels there. And I'm hoping this will probably be one of the last little bits of brass I do. Staffy was saying just before we went to break, saying do it brassy brass. I think he was referring to the little caps at the bottom of the horns. So I'll do that as well while I'm doing this little bit now. Here we go. So I got this little cork on a stick, and it helps me like control it, but it is getting in the way a little bit at the moment. Didn't actually get enough gold in the palette. I'm not going to do the centre. If I get a little bit of gold in the centre, not a problem. I am actually going to black them out. Yeah, I actually need some more paint. There. I thought I put a bit more in there than I did. There we go. That's better. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I saw it on the box art, it looks nice, and I think it breaks up the monotony of silver. I don't like there to be too much colour in one area all the time. But I do get very wary of just painting random details, because I think that it's kind of a childish thing for me. Something that I used to do when I first got into painting miniatures when I was about 12 or whatever it was. If there was a detail, I would just paint it. And it's too much sometimes. Oh, bit of overspill there. You know what? I'm going to go in and clean that up straight away. Going to go in with a bit of Agrax in a minute anyway and shade all those areas out, but just want to make sure that I'm not getting too much overspill. Paint between the lines, man, paint between the lines. There we go, and that just makes it look a little bit, you know, nicer. Oh, autofocus working really well for me there. Funny, I buy my paint by the litre. Yeah, that's far too much for me. Have you seen the Weta Workshop video that I posted on Facebook earlier on? You should definitely go and have a little look at that. Games Workshop are doing a collaboration with Weta Workshop, and they're going to start producing 1/6 miniatures or collectibles, because basically all the guys at Weta Workshop were either inspired by Games Workshop and they got them into their trades, or since they've been in their trade they've got into Warhammer because it's so prolific. And on the advert there is a 1/6 paint pot, this style paint pot, but it's like this. It's like a house paint thing. Yes, you should definitely go and have a look at the video. It's really nice to see the guys at Weta. Right. Just checking his teeth are dry. I'm probably going to leave that just for a second and come back to it in a minute. Let's go back to this hand here. What do I want to do? I want to paint the cord. That's what I'm going to do, paint the cord. I'm going to get a nice colour that should stand out. Don't want to paint khaki. Don't want to do leather brown, terracotta, beastie brown. Let's just try earth colour. Just want a nice brown that's just going to stand out as a cord, the tiniest detail on the skulls, but I don't want it to stand out too much. So if I do it this colour, let's see what happens. Oh, I'll get me microscope out for this one. Do you know what? I'm thinking, now as soon as I put that paint on there, I'm thinking black. Although black is rubbish because it's basically all over the model, it will stand out against the bone colour on the skull, won't it? Right, go back on it. Change your mind. Okay. To the black. Brown colour is a nice idea, but it wasn't starting. What I need is contrast, so it stands out. Now don't mess it up. Excuse me while it all goes quiet, I need to put my concentration face on. Music working for me very well there with a little bit of tension. I do like that. Red Barn Game saying skin on 40. See that little heart symbol hides a lot of my live chat. On 40, my Goblin Bowman down. Okay, cool. I hope that says my 40 Goblin Bowman. God, yeah. That's a lot of Bowman. Please do take a photograph if you are so inclined. Stick it up on Facebook so that we can all see it. That'll be absolutely brilliant. Genuinely do get inspired by the works that you guys do. Okay. Lots of hearts being fired in there. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, black cordage. Looks good. Just coming in on the back there. Not going to see it so much, so not going to be so delicate here. A little bit out of shot, aren't I? Yeah, thanks for the hearts. Got like a right little social media user. Excellent. Yeah, black cord was the right idea. Absolutely the right idea. Okay, to the other one. What I'll do at the same time now is I'm going to black out the middle of those barrels. Put a bit of Agrax on them as well. It's looking good. Come on, autofocus. Don't want to hit the button for autofocus. It doesn't want to play with me today, does it? Cool, just a little bit of black in there for now. Let's enhance the depth of those barrels. Lovely. Now, one thing that I do have to announce at the moment is I am currently quite poorly. I do have terrible IBS. And it's becoming increasingly more difficult to sit here and carry on with the show. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take another quick break out. Hopefully that doesn't bother everybody too much. So I'm going to do quite an unusual thing and have a second intermission. I need to get up, walk around, and hopefully I'll feel a little bit better. I'm getting quite sweaty, quite pasty. Sometimes I'm able to go through weeks and weeks without a single flare-up, and every now and again it hits me really difficult. Hits me really hard, and it can be difficult to concentrate, focus, and carry on with a quality show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 10-minute break. I will be back as soon as I can. See you in a bit. Bye-bye. Just kidding. Much better now. Thanks very much. Sometimes I've just got to take the hit and just got to know when to get up and have a walk around, go to the bathroom, do whatever it is I need to do. I apologise for having to take a second break. Well, that's never happened before. Lucky you, having 2 breaks from me this evening. Sometimes, yeah, I get a flare-up of IBS and it is just unbearable and the stomach cramps are insane. And most of the time, if I get them on a show, I'm able just to kind of carry on. Other times, like today, it's just very, very difficult. I sincerely apologise, but hey, that's a live show, that's a live performance for you, and at least it's not telly and let myself down on international television programmes. I have a button and I can play music. So sorry, let's carry on. What I'll do, even though I wasn't away for the full time of that last intermission, I thought I'd play the music out again, just in case I was really poorly. I will make sure that I go over at the end so that we get a little bit more time together. You know, just me and you, without being really poorly. Anyway, I've been doing a little bit more work just over the last little bit of that final intermission there. Just doing those little like touch-up bits with AAAGGGHHH around, those little bits of brass that I've just put on there. I'm just looking really at the 2 arms and wondering if I can start thinking about cutting them off of these skewers. I don't think I'm going to get around to gluing them on tonight. That'll definitely be a tomorrow morning thing or even a later thing on Discord. I'm well enough to be on Discord, hopefully. And yeah, what I need to do, you'll see in a second, I'll show you, is on the inside of the shoulders where these skewers go into, because they might have to kind of slot onto a piece of the body, the bit of wood might get in the way. So there might be like a little bit of drilling, a little bit of filing on the inside there. Hopefully though, if I just trim them down nice and flush, it should fit on there nice and easy. And then of course the very exciting job of starting to put him all together. And I'm just having a last little look over him now, just wondering if there's any other little bits and pieces. There's always more that I could do, always more. I'm looking at maybe doing like a little bit of highlight dry brush on the silver parts that I've done, just to kind of bring the edges out, just kind of make them shine a little bit more. And there's a few like rivets or spikes and nuts and bolts and things. They've got very, very detailed, very tiny hex bolts on a lot of the areas. And I will silver them, but that's a thing that's not for a live show, because that's just boring watching me go dot and then getting it all ruined. So I'm going to do those probably over the next couple of days. So yeah, I've got some sort of a secret birthday party thing tomorrow. That's all I know, is that I have to be around for 3 o'clock. So I'm going to do a little bit of work probably in the hour before then, because I'm not allowed in the house, only in the studio. Who knows what's happening? It's all very exciting though, isn't it? So yeah, I'm just going to be trying now to try and finish parts of these sub-assemblies. Going to go back to Ghaz's face. Just before we went away, Jeff said, take a break now, Rose. Thanks very much for being so generous to me on this live show. Very uncomfortable at the moment. You do what you need to do for your health. Thanks, guys. No, I really appreciate that. It's not an embarrassment. I get poorly, IBS. I consider myself very lucky. There are people out there. Kyle, who started this show with me, would get very, very poorly sometimes. Not through IBS. Yeah, we all have things that affect us. I feel much better now. My partner was downstairs going like, "Are you okay?" I'm just walking around. Jeff says, I bought £150 worth of foliage the other day. I only just covered over half the bocage sections. Bleeding hell. Very nearly broke my no swearing rule there. That's a lot of bocage. Waiting for the next load to turn up to finish them. You know that you've got big orders when you're having to wait for shipments to arrive. You know, bring the next lorry in, guys. I'll get the shovel. It's a lot of foliage. I'd love to see a photo of like the whole collection. That'd be great if you're so inclined. Anyway, let's move away from this crazy place. Let's go back to the workbench. Oh dear, what an evening today has been. Ooh. So, he's looking really good, isn't he? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the glyphs done on him now, and finish his face. I'll be really happy with that. I've still got loads of cables and stuff to do on him, so I've obviously got the cables that come off the side of the backpack here. One broke off, easy enough to repair. There's little wires and things inside everywhere. There's a big cable here, and they've got tears in them. Now, if I was going to spend hours and hours, I would paint all the individual cables in there, different colours to make them like a big bundle of wires. But actually, I'm going to do it as a big bundle of like copper wires and stuff like that, because it's just quicker and easy to do. And I might use one of my different like bronzes that I've got. So I've got bright bronze here, I've got another gold colour. So just to, I don't know, break it up a little bit. Hopefully it'll all show through. Let's get his teeth done. Teeth time, Ghaz. I hope this flare-up disappears before birthday day, because that's unpleasant. Okay. I don't want like loads on my brush, so just kind of wiping off a little bit on my knuckle here. My lights are kind of too bright today. I just want a subtle amount coming off the bristles because there's such a small detail as his teeth. Now, I'm not trying to overly filter the colour of his teeth. I wanted that Agrax in there to run between them all to kind of pick up the definition between his tiny little gnashes, and to give a little bit of gradation, whatever the colour, the term might be, for turning them darker towards the base. So again, just like his gums I was worried about earlier on, it doesn't all stay one colour. I want there to be a gradient from really bright to the top of his fangs. Let's call them fangs. So they get darker down at the gum line. But all the while trying to make it not look chalky dry brush and not messy at the same time. That's his bottom teeth done. Quite happy with that. And now I am much happier with the way his face is looking. His gum line is better, his teeth look better, he looks gritty, he looks gnarly, and he looks, most importantly of all, super angry. Right, wash that brush out. I'm going to come in with some dark red. I've got two different types of red that I've been using quite commonly here. Bloody red and gory red. And I believe that in Games Workshop these are synonyms. This is blood red. And this one here is Red Gorb. At least that's their old names anyway. Now I've painted most of the things on him blood red, the brighter one of the two, especially the eye, the mechanical eye that he's got on him, cybernetic eye. What I want to do is do like the bottom part of that lens, like a little teardrop shape if I can, with a dark red. And then I'll add a little bit of white to the blood red, to the top part of the eye, and then if I can get away with it, if I'm feeling good enough, accurate enough, a little dot of white in the middle of that brighter section. Here we go. Here we go. I think that was quite successful. Might have to add just another quick dot. Hard to see. Might need to build it up over a few layers. So what I'm going to do is just apply a little bit of air from my airbrush, just to help dry it down. Such a tiny amount of paint there. I don't really need the hairdryer, which my partner's definitely taken back. She found it. Jeff says, "Is he angry? Is it just misunderstood?" Oh no, I think people understand him just fine. There's a brilliant voice actor who's done the voice for Ghaz in one of the video games, and it's been a little bit of video footage of the guy recording his voice. The voice actor looks nothing like what you might think his voice would suggest. Very, very talented, but you get an idea of just how mental Ghaz is supposed to be. I'll see if I can find that video and I'll link it up on the Facebook page. Okay, I've got a darker bottom to the eye, which you definitely can't pick up on this video right now. I'll take a photo of it later. I'm going to go in with a tiny little highlight on the top. So now I'm going to go back to blood red. That little drop in there, and I'm going to have just the tiniest amount of white. And I'm going to add brush white rather than airbrush white. A bit more control over it, because what I want to do, I don't want to like mix 50-50 because it will come out too bright. All I want to do is just add like the tiniest drop. So I've got a little bit of white here, and my red's in here, and all I'm going to do is literally just get a little bit of white on the end of my brush, just mix it in my brush a little bit, and then just blend some red into it, and then I'm going to come out with a bit more white. If I go too much white, it turns pink, and I don't want that. I just want the red to brighten up a little bit, and I've pretty much got that. There we go. That is perfect. I could use orange, I suppose. I'm wondering if orange is a good idea here. I'm going to go with what I've done so far. Learn by making mistakes. And then walk right into them. Bingo. I need a lot of practice at that, but that's something that I can do as like a whole show thing one day maybe. Who knows? Okay, white dot time. Got a little bit of white on the side. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be brave. I'm just so sorry that you can't see this very close. I should get like... I'd have to make another scene that we cut to for like detail so it's zoomed right in, because we know that my zoom on here is as far as it goes, but I can expand the canvas. So that's something that I can try and do. Paint wasn't moist enough, it wasn't coming off the bristles. Such a small touch required on the bristles that there was no transfer of paint occurring. Okay. Come on, you got this. Bring a light in a little bit closer. Sorry you can't see anything. I missed. Let's wash it off quick. Oh no, it's right on the edge of the lens. Had to cover up the highlight colour. Okay. Rinse, repeat. Just redefining both of the colours, dark bit at the bottom as well, just because I kind of moved the highlight around now. Okay, let's try again. Oh, that would have been so good if I got that first one. Did not. It's a bit too bright. The white dot is a little bit too big, and I wonder if I just get a bit of water and just run it across the top. I can just remove 50% of the white that's gone on there. Sort of. I'm going to add a tiny red filter over it by getting some red and a bit of water. Just the tiniest little glaze. Excellent. Now I do need a little bit of silver to touch up the rim around the eye there, because it's kind of spread out everywhere. Where's my silver? There it is. So many different silvers floating around now as well. The one thing that I would really like to get done today is to be able to chop his face off and stick it into his head. Would make my evening. Now I'm just using this little bit of silver here just to pick up the edges of his skull cap, because I used a little grey wash over it, dulled the silver right down. It's exactly what I wanted it to do. It does make it look very steely, but it's nice to be able to pick out the fine details that are on there. Got a couple of rivets on top of his head. It all just blends away into the mass of steel that is on there. Some of the gentle contours on his head. Does Ghaz have gentle contours? Yeah, he must do, right? And because it's a, like I said, the face is a focus, it's a focal point, I'm actually going to come in with my bright silver colour, and I'm just going to put a couple of little highlights of that on there as well, just to bring the eye to his face a little bit more. Now just on the tippy tops of those rivets. Along the front of his eyebrow. So that we get a clear definition between Orc skin bits and Terminator skull. Do you know what? I've decided I'm going to do his earpiece brass as well. I think it deserves it. Okay, where's my brass colour? Said I wasn't going to go back to this one today, but whatever. There we are. Move my light away a little bit. Gloss his mouth up. Do you reckon I should gloss his mouth? I could put a bit of gloss in there, couldn't I? Make it a bit shinier on the inside. I mean, there'll be gloss on the inside of his tongue there, right? What do you think? Should I do it? I'll do it. The community has suggested, so I shall. Where's my gloss? Don't know why I'm shaking it. it's a varnish. It doesn't have a pigment. Okie dokie. All the way up my brush and into my ferrule. That's not what I wanted at all. Don't let your varnishes creep up your ferrule. Don't do it. Okay, here we go. There we go. Little bit of gloss varnish in there. Would be wet. You're right, it would be. The dirty little gobby git that he is. That's a very wet tissue I've been drying my brush off on. Okie dokie. So basically I just need to wait for that to kind of dry. So I will be doing that tonight, but I'll probably be doing it over on Discord very shortly. I do need to get a bit of Agrax on the grenades up there. I do need to get a bit of brass on the caps for these horns, these tusks he's got here. And I've got to put some grey wash on the silver on this leg over here. And when I'm doing that grey wash, I'm going to do the grey wash around the glyphs on his knee and the other glyphs that are all about him as well. So yeah, that's some stuff that I'm going to be carrying on with over at Discord in just a short while. I keep coming back to looking at this, the checker on this gob, and I'm just, do you know when you do something and you're just so happy with it? That is one of the happiest painting things that I've done in such a while. I'm really chuffed with it. Yay me. And I've got a little bit of detail to do on his backpack over here, so I've deliberately left these efforts. They're just little patterns on the top of his backpack. Don't really know what I was going to do with them. I just kind of wanted to make them different. There's a lot of metal, there's a lot of black, and I kind of want to do like a colour on there. Not really sure what I'm going to do. If I don't know what I'm going to do, I'll do it black. I've got like a little crank handle here, which is great. There's a little pipe that I'll probably do like a bronzy colour or silver colour. I've just missed it. And there's also like a little thing with a belt going in there. The belt on the cover, box cover, has been done red. but maybe I'll do something like a nice light brown and make it stand out a little bit. Who knows? He also has, excuse me, a light in here, and I'm quite looking forward to doing a nice green colour. Green, you know, because orcs. Maybe I'll do it red because red goes faster, but there is a lot of red already on him, and it'll be nice to do something different. Maybe blue. Blue will stand out quite a bit, won't it? So yeah, some things to consider and do. That gloss is going to take a few minutes to dry, so it's not going to be able to get it done in time before the end of the show. So if you want to see me put his face on, I'll be doing it over on Discord, where you can come and join me. I'll be on for, you know, as long as it is that we all hang around for. His face here is done, and I'm going to give him a little bit of a spray with matte varnish, so that it is protected, especially when I'm trying to put him on. You know, glue his face in there. I don't rub any of the paint off by touching it with my finger, because I can be super clumsy. Neon green, the light neon green, like on my Skitari dude. Do you remember that I did him on the Data Smith? Looks so cool, didn't it? He's behind me. I put up a new shelf. It's just here, and I could go and get him. But one of my rules is on Easy 8, I never leave the seat. So you'll have to go back a couple of episodes to go and see that. Here's one thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little poll on Facebook, but just as a little sneak preview. Here is the base. Waiting for it to come into focus. Any second now. There it is. There's a Space Marine helmet right here. Trying to work out where my finger is. Haven't chosen a colour for him yet. What colour would you like to see on that Space Marine helmet? Now, initially I wanted to do in red for Blood Angels because, well, I know that Stafford's a Blood Angels enthusiast, and Kyle, who used to do the show with me, is also super into Blood Angels, and I just thought it would be fun to do as Blood Angels. But Ultramarines will stand out really bright because blue, there's no blue on there. It'll be a colour that stands out really quite well. Very cool looking colour. But I don't know if Ultramarines really had an awful lot to do with fighting Ghaz, so what are they doing dead lying on the floor there? I think Black Templars were an army that fought him quite a lot, but they're black, and there's too much black on here, so blue, kill it, Smurf, kill the Smurf. Yeah, alright, you know what, blue so far. But I'm going to put a little poll up on Facebook to see what people think, but just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea what's coming. Anyway, let's move away from here. This is a silly place. Here we go. Well, yeah, what an evening. Sorry for being poorly. Just one of those things, isn't it? This is the last week of me doing Orktober. If I was to do Orktober next week, we'd be well into November, and that's just not what Orktober's all about. So I'm going to be doing over the next few days. Keep an eye out for the big reveal, where I will get together with salamanders, says Dave. Yeah. I'm going to get together with John. We're going to do a call. We're going to record it. We're going to put it up. Obviously, he will make the video. And then I'll just share a link to it over on Facebook, where you can see the big reveal, and actually me and John talking together for the first time, because we've been collaborating for so long, and we've done this challenge to kind of work together, but we've never actually spoken directly. So that'll be a really exciting thing to happen, and it's just something nice to do, isn't it? Because this is easy. It's all about the community. It's all about you guys, painting together, and I just kind of want to introduce you to John, because I think he's a really nice bloke. And it'd be nice to talk to him. Anyway, next week, I'm going to be getting on with something a little bit more different. Because next week is going to be Volume 4. We've been doing this now solidly for 3 years, can you believe? And that's a big deal. Something that I kind of just wanted to do during lockdown, to bring people together and to do something. Because, COVID was difficult, right? It's been an emotional roller coaster. It's not been like tears emotional. It's just been really exciting, been really fun, and I've come a long way as an individual, sitting in front of a camera talking to possibly 3 or 4 people at a time, possibly to 100 people at any one time, and we've come from 1 or 2 subscribers, people who know me and live in my house, to over 130 people across the world. Only 11% of viewers at Easy 8 are actually from the UK, where I am based. And that's bizarre. So we are uniting, hobbyists all over the place, and it's wonderful. I will never stop doing Easy 8. It's too good. 3 flipping years. Yeah, we are about to start our 4th volume, so we're going into the 4th year. When I first started Easy 8, I started it just before my birthday. So I'm on my birthday now, so every volume is a few episodes longer or shorter or whatever. But yeah, we've been running solidly now for 3 years. That's super exciting. The first year we didn't take a break. We did it every single week. But, you know, life catches up and stuff happens. So over the last couple of years, then occasionally I've not been able to do a show and did a later one, or had to miss out, or have been to a convention or whatever. It's all your fault, says Dav. I've painted too many tanks and lots of shutters. Yeah, you want to do it. That's what we're here for, right? So we're about to go into volume 4, and I just want to keep Easy 8 going. Of course, I want Easy 8 to be the 400,000 followers, subscribers, whatever it's going to be. Of course, I'd like to be able to get Easy 8 to the point of it being monetized. And being in the position where if I wanted to, I could give up my day job. But it's not about that. It's not about that at all. Every subscriber has been natural, it's been organic. The process has been because you guys want to join. And thank you for coming along for the ride. It has been, I'm not going to say a roller coaster over 3 years, although some big life events have occurred along the way. It's not been a roller coaster here. It's been consistently fun and joyful, and I'm very, very grateful and thankful for every single one of you that have joined me along for these last 3 years. Here's to the next one. I'm 42 on Tuesday, and as I said, I was only going to focus on doing all my 40k stuff while I was 41. So next week I'm going to change it up completely. I'm going to do some more historical stuff, and I was going to show you, but I've decided not to. I'm going to keep a bit of a secret, something a little bit more different. Anyway, that is genuinely enough for me. Please don't forget to share the word of Easy 8. Subscribe your heart away, because 132 is too small. Let's keep going. And if you get me 150 before the end of the November, I'll clean my paint palette. I'll do a live video for you. How's that? Anyway, that's it for me this week. It's been great this evening. Thank you for being patient with me today while I was poorly. Until next week, until I age, take care, be safe, stay kind. Forgot what I was going to say. Keep on painting, and I'll see you next time. Take care now. Bye-bye. I hate this song to outro out to it. It's so boring, isn't it? I'm going to delete it. Bye. I smell cake. Cakey, cake, cake.